Now, Ugandans are consuming more eggs today. Same with chicken. Now, there are many people that have seen opportunity here and have gone into this business, especially the one of eggs. However, a number of people, again, have also faced challenges making it in this area. And today we try to share with you tips that can help you overcome those challenges if you choose to take that line.
This is a breeding farm whereby we rear birds for eggs production, and those eggs are not for consuming. They are for hatching eggs, hatching chicks. So we take them after collecting them. We take them to the hatchery. We incubate them, and then we hatch in day-old chicks. Those day-old chicks, we sell them to customers for breeding. Mainly these birds here, they do take 6 months to start the production. Then when they start production, they lay for three weeks. Those eggs are not being taken to the hatchery because cocks, we are not very sure that cocks have performed. They are still getting intact with the females. In these birds, we normally feed them once a day. And the ratio we are giving is properly calculated because we don't need to give them feed frequently, because when you give them feed frequently, they do fatten, and when they fatten, they don't lay eggs. Like you see those commercials. Why they are growing very, very fast? Because they are eating all the time. But for these ones, we calculate the feed such that we can maintain the growth. And apart from maintaining the growth, we ensure the uniformity, because they have to start laying when they are all uniform, such that we can get a good production. With the automation, the line has got the measurement unit. We just pour feed in that feed bin. The conveyor takes it to the silo. Then from the silo, it goes into the house through those pipes. The amount which comes out of the silo to the feeders, it's already being calibrated, it's already being weighed, such that we maintain the feed ratio to give them. Okay, the automation is meant to maintain the feed ratio, and the reason why we weigh the feed, we need the birds to grow uniform. We don't want them to fatten, because when they fatten, they will not lay eggs. So that's why feed is ever being calculated. Automation also helps us not to waste feed, because being that it is the machine feeding, all the feeders are being set, so feed cannot easily pour down. Concerning water, birds are getting water from the nipple lines. We are using nipple lines, whereby water is just moving automatic. It comes from the tank to the nipple lines, and then birds start getting it from the nipples. We did that, reason being that to keep the birds safe, because when we are using the bell drinkers, know very well that water will get darkened. So, but when we are using the pipes, the water is very clean for the birds. That's another way of maintaining biosecurity, such that our birds are safe, they are not getting sick. In this plastic system, the waste, or the chicken waste, is just dropping down there, whereby we do scraping on a daily basis. We do scraping to avoid the ammonia, and then to keep the environment clean for the safety of the birds.
Again, we'll not tire in sharing with you tips on how you can make money, especially in this new year 2024. It's just the beginning of the year. And I believe as an entrepreneur, you can take as much counsel as you can, because it's key to helping you make good and informed decisions in the year or the time or the months ahead. Again, some business tips for you.
The message of resilience, the message of striving is something integral in the DNA of an entrepreneur. Here's what I mean. There are only two laws an entrepreneur must fulfill all the time for their enterprise to continue to exist, for their enterprise to continue to thrive. The first one is sell a solution that meets the minimum expectations of a buyer. Now, that buyer will never accept anything to say, you know, today my food is not as good because I had a stomach problem. Today my food is a bit like this because there was a power issue. The customer simply says, this is my minimum expectation and I'm paying value for it. Deliver it. Number two, even when you fulfill the minimum expected needs of a buyer, you must also again be ready to compete, because whoever's bought from you today is being approached tomorrow by a competitor to take away that business to another destiny. So that means that at all times there is no resting for an entrepreneur. All the time you are pushing a big stone up the hill. The moment you lift your hands off from that stone, the stone will come for you. So it's a journey of resilience, it's a journey of sweat, it's a journey of continuous striving.
Now, as a show, Money and Markets, we are committed to sharing with you tips on how you can conserve energy. As you know, climate change is real, and we've got to come up with all manner of innovations that can help us conserve that energy in order to protect our environment or use green energy solutions. And in this segment, we have an innovator who has just done exactly that, innovated a new technology that is supposed to help you conserve energy, use as less energy as possible without polluting the atmosphere.
Today we shall be talking about the Nova Elegant, which is basically a motor and alternator combination able to produce electricity. This is an invention that I got motivation from, especially when I was growing up, having a lot of load shedding, and also later on in my life, traveling around and realizing that most of the places up country and the neighboring countries around us face a very big problem of constant electrical power generation. So this is how I came about with the idea of being able to produce electricity. So growing up, we used to face a lot of issues with load shedding, and so that really sparked something in my mind to come up with a solution that is able to produce electricity. And also the same story actually was in our village, growing up without electricity in our village. And so today, I guess it's a common problem. I know it is a common problem all over the country, and also in some outskirts around Kampala and the neighboring regions. Plus, there is a very demand. There is an increasing demand in electricity. Today we are facing, with our rising technologies, we have electric cars, telephones, gadgets, laptops, and all these kinds of things that are actually going to place a very high demand of electricity on our national grid. Nova Elegant gives a solution to the rising power demands, which is environmentally friendly, affordable, sustainable, and also very silent in nature, since we are not using any sort of internal combustion turbine engines to run the alternator. Basically, how Nova Elegant works, it is a motor-alternator combination, and so the motor runs the alternator, and the alternator is able to charge a series of batteries, and power is picked from these batteries, reversed back into the motor, and the excess is what is used to drive our load. In this case, the electrical load could be charging your phone, charging your electric vehicle, powering your lights, electric appliances, house appliances, and all sorts of such needs that you may have to load onto the system. This is a system that is able to provide you with off-grid power. This can be used for your home appliances, for your small factories, for people with maize mills, millet mills, and any such small businesses in the village. This is a system that is able to support you with electrical power. On top of this, it also has an embedded system, which is the switching system, which can also help you run your business in such a way that you are able to remotely control the electrical generation switching the system on and off remotely. So let's say you have a business running in the village areas or up country, somewhere out there. You are actually able to control your system while you're in Kampala or in the comfort of your home. To get the system up and running, there are three basic factors that need to come into play currently. And this is facility, where we are able to do mass production, testing, and further research and development on all the upcoming systems and developments. Secondly, it is the need for skilled manpower. And this basically means equipping and scaling the available manpower to meet the demands that will come along as the project moves. Last but not least, it is basically the equipment. And this equipment will be able to facilitate the skilled manpower with the facility to be able to roll out all our future plans. And the future plans are mainly anchored on the research and development, which has to go into the system in order to make it more efficient, more reliable, and more affordable.
Well, that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Money and Market. Thank you for being part of the show. Now, from me and team, we'd like to wish you a very good evening, and God bless.